Good morning, YouTube. So it's a couple above freezing today, and it is warming up quite rapidly this morning. Even though we're still in winter, it still seems overly mild. You know, a lot of things are flowering when they shouldn't be, and a lot of bulbs are coming up, which is lovely. You know, it's a nice sign that spring's on its way. But anyway, task for today is going to be pruning an apple tree. I'm at a regular customer, so it's my first time back from Christmas, but it's one that I've been at this property for a few years, but it's not a job, not a tree that I've pruned previously, and by the looks of it, it's not been pruned for quite a while. So let's crack on, and I'll have a quick little chat about how I prune apple trees. Hope you enjoy the footage. Okay, so here we are. I'm not sure whether this was planted at an angle or if it was grown at it or if it had some trauma or whatever. This is what you would typically class as like a you could plant apple trees like this at an angle to sort of give the old orchard effect, but as I say, I'm not too sure. I think this one probably had some trauma by the looks of it, but it's a lovely tree. I'm going to try and find some timber as well. I've got a bit of fencing going on out into one of the paddocks here, and just do a couple of little bracings on it just in case, you know, just to support for any future. That it'd be a shame to lose it from it toppling over. But with apple trees, the idealistic manner of looking after them is opening up the centre, so you can have wind flow going through, and the idea of that is it can take away bugs, beasties and disease and all that sort of thing. You would take away any cross branches, so ones which are rubbing upon one another, and then that stops, you know, damage to the bark and infection and all that sort of thing. And then dead and diseased timber comes out as well, and reducing down a little bit of the height on this as well, just giving it a bit of a shape. I'm not going to be overly anal with this sort of prune on here. It's not a tree which is gonna, you know, it produces fruit, but they don't have it for just the fruit. It's one of those trees which is more ornamental and the fruit's a bonus, so it is more about the shape and the size on this one. Removing some of the underneath branches, just so when we go around with the mower and things, it's a lot easier. Taking off the tips because we are going into that hawthorn hedge behind, as they just giving it a bit of a shape. But let's get on with the job and try and warm up a little bit. I'll just have a quick chat about when I'm talking about damaged and diseased woods. So here's a prime example. It's been bashed by the mower or a person as they've gone past, and you've obviously got this. Now, if this was for an ornamental, then you would obviously take off this and take it back to a bud. You can see stress marks here underneath where they've been rubbing upon one another. Again, where it was rubbing down here, you can see stress marks there. These are all the sort of things that can cause trauma to the tree and, you know, increase limb loss and such. I mean, this is a real tangle, but as I say, if you're going to be harsh on this and you wanted it for fruit, you'll be taking out lots more than I'm going to be doing. But this is purely going to be for an ornamental tidy up, and you know, just a general sort of appearance prune more than the fruiting, but it will help it as well, you know, taking out all these other bits. What I try to do when I'm pruning is I want to increase the height a bit more. I don't want them to be coming down. So these ones literally that I've pruned up straight away here, what I'll do is I have a walk around and I sort of decide what width I want it at, and I just go and do one mid area and then I work from it. So you can see that I've pruned it here, so we've got these shoots which are going to be going upwards on those. So same as this one here, you've got the limb coming across, the branch coming across, and I've pruned that, so we've got the growth coming upwards. We have got this one underneath, but what I'll do is I'll prune that off because I want this to be the main one coming up. Just like this one here, this is a good example. We haven't got anything else underneath, but we've already got this long growth coming up here, full of buds. We could always take it back further, but what I'll do is I'll have this one walk around and then decide whether I want to take it back any further. There's nothing really in this corner, it's more, you know, as I say, for tidying up. So we're in the bottom of the tree, scooch down in and amongst all the branches, and literally going to take off all these little ones just to try and open up the inside a little bit. Take off some of these smaller ones which are all up here. Reason for doing so is to open up this bottom just so I can see what's going on. So I've done a walk around the outside, done a little prune up from, I'd say, the neck down. Prune them all upward. Haven't done any of the branches which grow downwards, but I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm just going to take out some of these ones just so I can sort of see what's going on. While I'm here, I'm taking out some of these ones which are interfering with other branches, other limbs, ones which are falling to the ground. Here's another prime example around the back of the apple tree. You can see it's rubbing here and here. I've actually worn away the actual bark on the outside there, where this one's continuously been rubbed up against. Same with this one here, where this has been rubbing against there. You can see across there. going up in that crest. You can see where that one's been rubbing against this, so this one's interfering with a heck of a lot, so that'll be coming off right back down here. Just looking up over there, one of these main ones, you can see this one is rubbing on it, so again taking that out from the centre. So this is what I say, you go around, you have a look at all these trauma spots, there's absolutely loads of them, and then decide, like there, you've got this one which is coming across from over here, you know, all the way from over here. Spare yourself a lot of time with this. I mean, you can overcut, of course you can, but this is all essential at the moment. Even little things like that, you can tell when it's just getting in the way with people, when it's just being snapped off like so, accidentally or not. Doesn't look like I've done a lot so far on it, but I've cut quite a few branches. But anyway, let's get on with those trauma ones. Well, so this is kind of difficult to know what to do with this one. This is a very large limb, this one here, which has got the major trauma on it. I have no qualms about losing this one. It does unfortunately expose a large part, but we'll have to just keep an eye on that and see. It's gone, camera won't pick it up, but you've got some more up there where it's growing in amongst one another. Oh, pardon me. I think because this one's growing up into the hedge, I'm gonna take this one out, causing trauma over there. It's growing up over there too much anyway. It's a large one to lose, but the odds are against that one. Those things where you can do a lot of work for a period and it doesn't look like a lot. It's not dramatic enough, not unless you're taking out major limbs or like hedge cutting where you can see a real big difference. I've taken out 2 bulk bags, no, ton bags of cuttings. Certainly more than enough for this prune. I could carry on and on and on, to be honest. It's one of those things where you have to go, okay, enough's enough now. I have taken out a bit on the height, left a few leaders on there, a few smaller ones. Next week I will take out that one. Actually, I might just do that in a minute whilst I've got the loppers, and probably that one there as well, just to even it up slightly. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the footage. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of talk about the apple tree pruning and what I do. If you've got any questions, or if you do it differently, please leave a comment below, leave it constructive, and if you don't already, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you on another video soon. Thank you. Up slightly.